Hi, Mark from the Mark Dithering team. This video is going to describe what a listing agreement looks like and also what a seller's disclosure statement looks like and how to fill it out. We'll be in touch shortly and go over with yours in particular, but this is just a sample so you can get an idea. So, as you can see here on the screen, the listing agreement is a few pages long, and we put some samples in here just so you could kind of follow along and get an idea. That first section is going to say that the listing is with the Grand Rapids Association of Realtors, and then also it's going to say that you grant RE/MAX of Grand Rapids, the broker, to list your home. From there, we're gonna fill in dates. It'll be today or tomorrow's date, and then it will be a 6 to 12 month time frame of when that listing will expire. And then the rest of this big part of the paragraph will be just the township, the city, the legal description, the address, and however else, the permanent parcel number, and however else it's legally described. If it was a condo, we'd have some condo information to fill out. If it was a large piece of land and we had to talk about the land splits, we would be talking about that, and if you're going to sell the splits with the property. Fixtures and improvements. Everything in that paragraph I can kind of sum up by saying if anything's attached to the walls, if anything is attached, mirrors that are attached, lighting, anything that's attached by screw or glue does stay with the home. Anything additional that we want to leave, we leave on this list right here. This is where we would normally put refrigerator and freezers and different things like that, washer and dryers. That's where we would add that in. The next line on there would be if you said, Mark, we have a chandelier in our dining area that we want to take with us. It was a gift. This is where we would say chandelier in dining area to be replaced with new chandelier, or we'd put something on there just to protect the item that you want to keep that is attached. If it was on propane, we would talk about the propane levels and that you have to sell it with at least 10% propane left in it. You can't drain it when you go to sell it. List price. This is where we would put the listing price. Terms that we'll accept. More often than not, obviously, we'd take cash. A lot of times we would take a new mortgage, conventional, VA, FHA. There really isn't too many homes that we have to worry about going VA and FHA anymore. So there's more than likely we would have those boxes checked. I like to put we will pay 0 points and 0 repairs. At this point, there's no sense in offering points and repairs until somebody has an inspection and tells us that it might be something wrong with the house, at which point we can negotiate. Brokerage commission, we fill in right here. The months that protection period. The protection period would mean that if we listed the house and you decided to expire the listing a month into it and the next day sold to somebody that we generated through our marketing, that you'd still be responsible for the brokerage fee. So it's just kind of set up to where, people don't expire their listing and then sell to somebody they met, at an open house or in the driveway or whatnot. There is a $295 administrative fee with RE/MAX, so that's put right there. The listing commission, which we charge 6%, the listing commission is broken up right here into the MLS as 3% to the seller's agent and 3% to the buyer's agent. So 5-Star, Keller Williams, different companies that show your home are going to be rewarded the 3% if they bring the buyer. And then transaction coordinator doesn't really apply. That would be if you sold your home and just called us to do the paperwork. These next two I can kind of sum up: possibility of dual agency and licensee not representing the seller. Basically, if a RE/MAX agent shows up in your driveway, maybe even particular from my team, one of my buyer's agents shows up, just remember that he may have a relationship with his buyer as a buyer's agent, and your relationship is with me, the selling agent, and so you might not want to give him information about what price you would take or some terms, because that information then may go right to that buyer. So any any private information, helpful information, negotiating, keep directly with me, the listing agent, and then there'll be some 5 stars, some Remax, and all these different people that'll be showing it. They are working for their buyers. Inquiries, if I do get an offer from you or from someone, and even if the price is low and I know you won't take it, I'm going to present it. I can't just decide for you. Title insurance, there will be a portion of title insurance that you'll be responsible for when selling your home. We'll get into details more about that. Possession, this we have options. You can give possession at close, or you can give possession 15 days after close, 30 days after close. This number that we put in here is going to be just a ballpark number, and we can fine tune it as we get an offer in case it sells right away, or in case it takes 30 days to sell. That might change when you can give possession. Speaking of, while we're going down this, you're going to have options to sign or initial in these different boxes when you get it into your email. So you'll read it just like we are, and then you'll initial if it's husband and wife, and you'll keep scrolling down to initial as we go. Submission of offers. If we do get an offer, will we take up backup offers? Of course. In the many years I've been doing this, haven't seen it come into play too often, but if somebody wants to write a backup offer, we'll gladly take one. Discrimination. We can't discriminate against anybody who wants to see it or purchase it. There's all the protected categories. Modifications have to be done in writing. We can't just talk about a price reduction over the phone and have it happen. We actually have to put it in writing. Heirs and successors, anything was to happen to you or your anybody else you own the home with, your heirs and successors are going to handle the paperwork if something were to happen to you. Disclosure statement, we're going to get into that here on the next video just to kind of describe how to fill that out. And if the home was built prior to 78, there is a lead-based paint concern. If it was built after 78, there is no concern. We'll check the according box, and then there's a big disclosure about lead-based paint. What the home does sell for will show up on the MLS, so this is a disclosure of information. That's how appraisers keep track of market value. This next one just basically talks about if there was anything that happened we'll hold you harmless and you hold us harmless unless there was negligence. And then once again, you would initial the box. Down here, consent to fees just mentions that we did talk about the commission and the fees involved in selling. And then if there was ever an issue between you and the buyer, you and anybody, that there is an option to have a mediation company resolve the issue, just as an FYI. And then once you get down with that, you can click here, and that's going to sign the document and get it back to us. So that is the listing agreement in a nutshell. Just wanted to share that with you. We'll show you other videos and different things. This is just as a nice refresher for you to review. We'll be in touch. Looking forward to helping you sell.